Hi, welcome to a walk through Comics 2000. This episode, Jessica Abel. This is a 4-page story, 3 tiers per page. Jessica is an American artist who has lived all around the world. At the time, she was living in Mexico, and this story takes place in Mexico. Let's take a look. So we see a sort of typical Mexican village and 2 tourists. We know they're tourists. She's got a camera. He's got a baseball hat and a sort of touristy shirt on. And they come upon this building that's got an altar, presumably to the dead. There's candles. There's a cross. There's some portraits. And in the bottom of page 1, she's taken photographs. He's looking pretty anxious. He doesn't want to be here. And the skeletons, the parts of the spirit world, the dead are starting already to emerge. Page 2, they surprise the tourist. Oh my goodness. And they give them or offer them this, what looks like a piece of bread. It's actually, Google has told me it's Mexican bread for the dead. And everyone knows you don't eat the food of the dead. Something will happen. And of course, they eat the food, and something does happen. They die in page 2. They fall over, and then there's mourning and wailing. But not long after, they set them up outside the altar, set them up, and as time progresses, their flesh starts to rot away, and they turn into proper skeletons. Their eyeballs pop out. And while we're here, notice one other thing. The drawings of the skeletons in the spirit world and the dead are a different type of drawing than of what we saw of the tourists in the Mexican village. The skeletons are drawn in a sort of woodcut style. Anyway, the dead people, our tourists now properly turned into dead skeletons, can now go and dance along with the rest of the fun-loving dead. The end. And the great thing about this ending, one reason it's fun, I mean, first of all, it's a bunch of skeletons dancing, but second of all, it's hearkening back to images from 100 years ago, Mexican images by Jose Guadalupe Posada, who did tons and tons of skeletons, which you've probably seen. That itself was hearkening back to medieval imagery of the dance macabre, which always features death and as a skeleton and all sorts of other people of all walks of life being brought about over the passage of death. This ends the 7th seal. You've probably seen this image before. Eddie Campbell, another cartoonist, plays around with this image in the dance of lifey death. So it's a real fun way of playing with the heritage that Jessica was living amongst at the time. And it's a great way to begin this 2,000-page book with a glimpse of the spirit world and a reminder that death is among us and we're all going to be there someday.